May 22nd, the administration of President Donald Trump made a decision to revoke Harvard's SEVP certification, which will block Harvard University from enrolling foreign students. Then, Trump directly humiliated Harvard University at the White House press conference.
I do, but a lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? Where the students can't add 2 and 2 and they go to Harvard. They want remedial math, and they're going to teach remedial math at Harvard.
Why is Trump targeting Harvard? Will Harvard finally give in? Welcome to mindgap. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me a lot. Let's start by figuring out where Trump really sits on the political map. Despite his wealth and elite background, Trump managed to build a loyal base among America's working-class white population. Why would people who struggle in life support a man who lives in a golden tower? The answer is, Trump packaged himself as the anti-establishment outsider, the guy who would storm into Washington and blow it all up. For many working-class Americans, elite universities like Harvard, Yale, and other prestigious places are simply out of reach, not just culturally, but financially. The sky-high tuition fees, expensive housing, and endless costs make these schools a dream that feels impossible to afford. To them, these universities aren't just places that push woke agendas or radical ideas. They're exclusive clubs for the wealthy and well-connected. Trump is well aware of this deep resentment, and we can see his commitment to his supporters from his campaign, Agenda 47.
When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics.
Agenda 47 is a very important document. All Trump's seemingly controversial executive orders are aimed at fulfilling the promises made in Agenda 47. For example, he launched a tariff war around the world on April 2nd. This stemmed from his promise of a new trade plan to protect American workers. Therefore, Trump would definitely take action against prestigious American universities. But one thing accelerated Trump's progress. That is, the pro-Palestinian students protesting against Israel in US college campuses. In global affairs, the United States has two uniquely close relationships. The first is with Britain, a bond rooted in same race, language, and cultural heritage. No matter what decision the United States makes, Britain will support it. The second is with Israel, because Jews have a dominant power in the political and economic fields of the United States. And no matter what Israel does, the United States will unconditionally support it, even if it is genocide. So Trump cannot tolerate pro-Palestinian demonstrations in American universities. Trump's first target is not Harvard University, but Columbia University. Last year, a wave of campus protests that swept the US as Israel's war on Gaza escalated. Among them, the student protests at Columbia University were particularly intense. On April 30th, a group of students occupied Hamilton Hall on campus at Columbia, which attracted widespread attention. Trump has taken a tough approach to those demonstrations, pledging in its first week to deport students involved. He put pressure on Columbia University and revoked $400 million federal funding, claiming Columbia University is a failure to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitic harassment. On March 10th, US Education Department sent a letter to 60 academic institutions, including Columbia, informing them they were under investigation for anti-Semitic harassment and discrimination, and threatening further funding cuts. Finally, Columbia gave in. March 21st, Columbia University agreed to a list of demands laid down by Trump, including banning face masks, empowering 36 campus police officers with special powers to arrest students, expelling, suspending, or revoking the degrees of students involved in the Hamilton Hall occupation. Then, Trump set his sights on Harvard University. How did the conflict escalate step by step? First, Trump administration sent Harvard a letter on April 11th and called on Harvard to ban face masks and reform academic departments that it alleged were guilty of anti-Semitic bias. To further intimidate Harvard, Trump threatened to cancel its $9 billion in research funding. However, out of Trump's expectation, on April 14th, Harvard President Alan Garber rejected those demands. Hours after Harvard's response, US Department of Education created a task force to tackle anti-Semitism, announcing that $2.3 billion in federal funding to the university had been frozen. Harvard responded by suing the Trump administration. It has one of the best law schools in the world, and tried to use a legal battle to refute Trump's executive order. Harvard's lawyers argued that Trump administration violated its First Amendment rights and freedoms recognized by the US Supreme Court. But for Trump, he is the president, a position that is harmful to the Constitution. Many scholars argue that the modern presidency has become too centralized, too powerful, and too unaccountable. It no longer just executes the law. It often makes it, shapes it, and enforces it with little resistance. Trump is the most powerful person in the world, as long as he is the president of the United States. It is difficult for anyone or anything to check and balance him. If the case is appealed to the US Supreme Court, there are 6 conservative justices in the court, which is an absolute majority among the 9 justices. It would be difficult for Trump to lose the case unless a conservative judge rebels. Therefore, Trump felt confident and continued to increase pressure on Harvard. On May 5th, the Trump administration announced that Harvard University will no longer receive public funding for research. But Harvard still didn't give in. In order to truly make Harvard feel the pain, Trump revoked Harvard from enrolling foreign students on May 22nd. So, how much revenue does Harvard earn from foreign students? Most international students at Harvard pay full tuition, which is $59,320 for the 2024 to 25 academic year, plus extra mandatory fees amount to an additional $27,606 per student. That makes a total of $86,926 per year. If all 6,800 foreign students are paying full tuition fees and extras, that would amount to just over $591 million in annual revenues. The number is not large, but the impact is unparalleled. Every year, thousands of students from wealthy families around the world come to study at Harvard. These aren't just students. Many are the sons and daughters of billionaires, politicians, and powerful business figures. These families bring with them massive influence, donations, endowments, and global connections that form a powerful support network for the institution. Without foreign students, Harvard would lose its international prestige, political clout, and access to global power structures. That's Harvard simply cannot afford. You may be curious. Academics play a crucial role in enhancing national strength. They drive scientific innovation, shape technological progress, and contribute to the economic and military power of a country. Isn't Trump afraid of retaliation from the academics for targeting American universities so much? Not at all. Trump understands something fundamental. These institutions already hate him. The academic elite, tenured professors, and student activists have painted him as anti-intellectual, authoritarian, even dangerous from day one. If you look at the approval rating, it's very clear. The more educated the group, the less likely they are to support Trump. For Trump, targeting universities can not only consolidate his lower-class white base, which think Trump is protecting students from radical left and Marxist, but also further strengthen his relationship with Israel, which is beneficial to him. On May 23rd, Harvard University filed suit in federal court in response to the Trump administration's move. A federal judge has temporarily halted the Trump's ban on Harvard University's ability to enroll international students, marking a major legal setback for Trump. Trump criticized the decision, accusing Harvard of needing to change its ways. In a statement, White House spokeswoman said, "Unelected judges have no right to stop the Trump administration from exercising their rightful control over immigration policy and national security policy." The Trump administration may appeal U.S. district judges' ruling. This lawsuit will be prolonged and will eventually be decided by the Supreme Court. I think even conservative justices will not support Trump in this lawsuit because they need to maintain their reputation and the authority of the Constitution. In addition, Trump's move also drew criticism from China.
是互利的，中方一贯反对将教育合作政治化，美方有关做法只会损害美国的形象和国际信誉。
China seldom comments on U.S. domestic affairs. This time, why does it respond? As I said, many children from wealthy and powerful foreign families go to Harvard to study, and Chinese students account for 1/5 of them. Many of these children come from the families of high-ranking Chinese officials and positions who have a say in Chinese politics. Those Chinese elites are very anxious that they cannot send their children to Harvard, a university with a long history and a great reputation. So, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs came out to criticize. Elites all over the world are the same. This is what the raw self-interest looks like. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.